Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Enough Said podcast. We are in season 5, episode 9. A lot of good things to cover this week. The only Super Bowl winning coach from the Eagles coming back to town today. So we got Eagles Jags talk. We got 49ers talk, just squarely squeaking it out against Dallas. We also got trade talk and, of course, Flava Flav. What? Let's do it, Dre. All right. What up, everybody? How you doing, guys?
Doing.
Yeah, all right. I'm not doing.
Got a lot of candy in my belly.
There you go. Happy Halloween.
Trick or treating.
Yeah.
I'm not doing all right, fellas. I'm not doing all right.
What's wrong, man? What's happening?
If anybody's out there that works for Comcast, you guys suck.
Shoot.
All right, you guys suck. All right. Every other freaking y'all got to get this situated, man. I don't know what's going on and all that stuff. I upgraded my modem and all that stuff. It's a long story, but Comcast sucks. Bottom line, period. Let's
Very
go.
good.
You heard it on our podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
Podcast sucks.
Wow. All right. Well, you guys know normally I come up with rhymes for you guys, but I thought we'd switch it up a little bit this week. So I was like, all right, how can we incorporate the time change with everybody who's out there knows that we're all in a fantasy football league and AI writes these hysterical stories and summarizes our game. So I'm like, how can I combine both together? Well, I did. And I came up with an AI story.
Oh my God.
And it's going to be about Jermaine trying to tell time with Flava Flav time and joining the Enough Said podcast with Sal, who has a crush on Kay Adams. Of course, Mike, who loves Peacock, and Dre, who has a knack for keep falling down the stairs. So here is the story really quickly. The timekeeper of Eldon Hollow. In the lively town of Eldon Hollow, Jermaine was known for two things, his infectious laughter and his unique way of telling time. While most people relied on traditional watches, Jermaine had a collection of flamboyant Flava Flav clocks that he wore around his neck like oversized pendants. Each one was a vibrant splash of color, adorned with an iconic face that seemed to shout Flava Flav every hour. Jermaine was a key member of the Enough Said podcast, along with his friends Sal, Andre, and Mike. Sal has a soft spot for Kay Adams, awfully daydreaming about her joining the podcast as a guest. Jermaine, Andre, on the other hand, had a knack for falling down the steps, an unfortunate but frequent occurrence that never failed to amuse the group. Mike was a laid-back observer, always ready to binge-watch shows on Peacock while munching on snacks. One sunny afternoon, as they gathered in Jermaine's living room, their weekly recording session, Sal brought up an idea. What if we had an episode about how to tell time in style, he suggested, glancing at Jermaine's flashy collection. Great idea, Jermaine exclaimed, adjusting one of his oversized clocks. I'll show you how to watch it. So as he began recording, Jermaine showcased his favorite pieces. He said, pointing to a bright yellow watch with a playful design. It's my party time watch. It's perfect for when I'm feeling festive. Let's not forget about my serious time, he continued, holding back a sleek clock. This one is for when I need to focus, like when I'm studying or doing serious podcast planning. Andre chimed in from the couch where he was trying not to trip over the coffee table. I need that from when I'm not falling down the steps. The group laughed in laughter as Andre dramatically pretended to stumble again. Jermaine decided it was time for a little competition. All right, let's see who can guess the time on each watch without looking. So he turns, guessing why Jermaine spun around. As they played, Mike leaned back and said, you know what? This is why I love our podcast. We can still be silly and have fun. As evening progressed and their laughter filled the room, Sal suddenly paused. Hey, Jermaine, do you think your watches could help us keep track of our dreams? Jermaine said, what do you mean? Sal said, you all have watches representing different moods and moments. Maybe we can create segments in our podcast. Jermaine's eyes lit up with excitement. That's brilliant. can have episodes based on my watches. They envision segments where they can discuss sports topics. Sal with a romantic watch when discussing K, and Andre with a clumsy theme watch during his infectious stumbling stories. As he fell over the hollow, the four friends wrapped around their session, feeling inspired and connected. Jermaine smiled as he looked around the Flava Flav watches, and there was more than just timekeepers. They were symbols of friendship and creativity. From that day forward, the Enough Said podcast became known not only for its engaging discussions, but also for its unique flair, thanks to Jermaine's colorful timepieces. And then, of course, we had to summarize it. Being part of the Enough Said podcast, Jermaine's clocks often become conversation starters. His friends appreciate the humor around his unique timepieces, which contribute to the lighthearted atmosphere of the discussion. When Sal fantasizes about Kay Adams or Andre recounts his frequent tumbles down the steps, Jermaine watches that an element of whimsy that enhances their camaraderie. Cocktail fosters sense a community among the groups as they share laughs inspired by Jermaine's flamboyant style.
Oh my God.
Why do I have to be
That's
Flavor
too
Flav?
much.
I mean, did I miss something? What's going on? I mean, did I miss something?
It was from the
Like with
text
these
message.
oversized clocks, huh?
It was
What's
from
that?
the text message. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm just like, because I saw it. He's like, Michael's like, oh, I forgot. Jermaine has one of those. Oh, I said, well, wait a minute. What does he have to? I don't get it.
This is
I don't
why AI needs to be stopped. Okay.
As Andre tries to stumble not across the coffee
Right.
table. That was killing me, man.
No, that was
Oh, my
great,
God.
man. That was funny as I don't know what. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
you're
yeah,
right.
it's great.
That
AI's
was
got- great.
great.
AI's got to stop. It's all of this is going to get worse.
I said,
What up, KD?
Funny- funny
Oh,
part is I
KD.
was
I hope you caught the
Friday
story
night.
time.
I was binge watching Peacock.
That's right, with your snacks. Wait till I get to the ones about time.
So we watched
Wow.
this stupid thing and see what movies and stuff are on there. So Friday night I was sitting there watching shows with Peacock. I'm like, yeah.
Wait till I get to the Doc McStuffins AI ones, Mike.
Oh
Oh,
man,
my
that's what
God.
it is. Yeah.
Jay Dizzle
You got to
laughing
shut
there,
it down
man.
after that, man.
That's
Jay
coming
Dizzle-
up.
Jay
You
Dizzle
have
loved
to
it.
shut it down.
Oh man.
Fix Andre's leg.
Yeah, fix my
man.
foot, man.
Wow. Well, we
Basketball
crack up
anymore.
every week reading those AI reviews of our matches because some of them, and for some reason, they don't call by my team name. It's like Sal's Matchless Team or something. I don't know why it does that, but anyway, that's another podcast.
Well, no,
But-
you know what? It was funny. Did the same thing with Jermaine. It didn't call out his team or something. It was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, it's glitching. It's glitching, right?
AI
Yeah.
starting to think for itself. Oh boy.
Yeah, I just can't wait for Mike to hear the Doc McStuffins one. That's
Oh,
coming.
God.
So, you know, we're getting
That
there.
was great. Thank you.
So
That was
yeah,
funny.
man, just something to
that
switch it up a little bit. I try every
Yeah.
once in a
I
while,
like
you know,
it.
you gotta switch it up. So hey guys, we got two things this week. We got a Super Bowl winning coach coming to town, the only one I would add that the Eagles have. And then also we got the Eagles playing their first complete game, I would say, this week. So let's talk about both of those. First time the Eagles actually came out and just beat a team, you know, in a long time. Now, after Jacksonville gets a little more interesting, but let's enjoy it for now, as KD would say before he starts yelling at me in the chat. Let's just enjoy it for now. Dre, your feedback on the game. Your boy AJ Brown got you some fantasy points.
It was against the Bengals, right? So
Yeah, man.
it was a complete game. I think
Mhm.
definitely from Jalen Hurts. He finally looked like he had pocket presence to me. He also I think the play calling was as well offensively. So to me, I think that it was gelling right, and no excuse that it's the Bengals, whatever. Who cares? Bengals are struggling. That's not a point. Bengals is a dangerous team anytime.
Oh yeah.
So I felt that even the pass rush, we had 4 sacks, I believe, on Burrows. So that was a plus. So to me, that was a game that was like a footprint, or like Jermaine said, he wants to see consistency. Well, hopefully this starts the consistency for today's game, right, against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Because again, Jaguars are a team we should beat up. But from what I saw in the Bengals game, I was more impressed with Jalen, to me, because that needs to have that down to start the offense off right for the rest of the remaining of the season.
Mike, they're running the ball. That's the difference. They're finally giving it to Saquon. Maybe Kellen Moore is getting a little bit more of a say.
Yeah. I thought, for what I saw of the game, I thought it looked pretty good. I wouldn't say it was 100% complete. It got off to a little bit of a slow start, and then it kind of gelled together. But it was improvement over what you've seen over the last couple of weeks for sure. It's like it's trending in the right direction. Running the ball with Saquon, like I said, he's Saquon McCaffrey. You got to feed the guy. And then I think the big difference I saw from this game is no turnovers.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Those games when he's turning the ball over, things go wrong. When he protect the football, make good decisions, I think they can win. I still think the defense, it's got problems. I still think there was opportunities for Cincinnati to capitalize, and they just didn't. But, today should be a good, I think you should see a complete game today. I hope.
Yeah. Jermaine, Doug Peterson, only Eagles Super Bowl winning coach. Should they have let him go? Are you happy with Nick? What do you think? What do you expect? Are they going to boo him today, cheer him? What do you think when this guy comes back? What's going on?
They'd be ignorant Philly fans to be booing them. I mean, God, they gave us a Super Bowl, which I still think, in my opinion, is a flawed, but it's a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So
they booed Santa Claus. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean, everybody's been waiting. You've been hearing all these stories that, I hope I get a Super Bowl before I die and all that stuff. Well, then you got it. You know what I mean? So it's like, but yeah, I would be surprised if they booed Doug Peterson, today. I mean, it would be, it would be jacked up. I mean, total disrespect, because he did give us a Super Bowl. But just like you said, I mean, slowly but surely, and we talked about this, we didn't know which way this train was going to go the first 3-4 games or whatever, you know what I mean? How they were struggling when they lost to Atlanta, so they're going to, slowly but surely. But my thing is, you guys talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, it is what it is, because you cannot put all the game on Jalen Hurts. I mean, right now, with what you've seen the last 2 games, everything revolves around Saquon Barkley. The offense has got to go through Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, because Jalen, it is what it is. Because when you drop him back, or when he keeps throwing, he's going. That's when the turnover is going to come. If you keep him down the minimum as far as the attempt passes, and let him get his feet wet, then maybe towards the end of the year he'll get his confidence up and stuff, and he'll start understanding the offense and stuff. But no, right now everything goes through Saquon. Everything goes through Saquon.
Real quick though, good point. So what was the difference then when we had DeAndre Swift? It's got to be the coaching then, because so I'm saying, so maybe Kellen Moore is the answer. Or that whole thing, because you're right, Jermaine. We run the ball, but we should have been running the ball with DeAndre Swift too, and not put all that pressure on Jalen. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And hopefully they figure.
But I mean, DeAndre Swift isn't.
Yeah, right.
On the same
no,
level
I'm not.
But you didn't give him a chance. I see what Dre was saying. You didn't give DeAndre.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? To see what he can do. I agree with Dre. I mean, now you're gonna pay $38 million. You know what I mean? Compared to half of that if you had DeAndre Swift. You know what I mean? Yeah, this could have been somewhere else, but hey, it is what it is. This is where we at now. So we got one of the top 3 running backs in the league. So let's do it.
Yeah.
Is Doug Peterson on the hot seat a little bit here, guys?
After today, if they get smoked.
I have to say he is.
After today, they get smoked, because this could really get ugly.
I think so too, man. And you guys know I'm not a fan of the quarterback, Trevor. I think Trevor is a bust. I think he was overrated as a draft pick, and unfortunately, Doug Peterson, he was a quarterback coach. He was a quarterback. I don't know what's going on with that and everything, but it's all falling on Doug. Unfortunately, how bad that Trevor Lawrence is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens today. Maybe not as much of a hot seat as here we go. The Cowboys. Mike, it was a close one at the end. Cowboys made it a little interesting. Made you sweat a little bit, huh?
Yeah, they played some prevent defense and just started giving up all kinds of, look, they knew what my fantasy team was looking like. I was down, I don't know, 30 something points, and they knew that I needed to get some points. So they said, well, let CeeDee Lamb just get some easy touchdowns. And so that helped me get back into it so I could win. Yeah, I mean, the game was well in hand, and then they just kind of had some mistakes, and yeah, they did make it a little more interesting than it should have, but they had it won. So I wasn't too worried about it. I was worried early on when things were looking ugly, but they beat Dallas again, so I'm happy.
Well, Dre, we talked a lot about, I know you have a few thoughts on this, Dak and his contract and how he's performing so far. What are they going to do with this guy? They're in bed with him. I mean, he's paid. Like, he's not going anywhere. No one's going to take on that contract. So is Jerry just not able to sign other players because of it? I mean, him and CeeDee Lamb are like, what, 60% of their payroll right now?
Yeah, well, kudos to Dak's agent to make Jerry Jones sign the check. What a fool. It's a mess, honestly, and yeah, he's not worth the money, as we can see, but they gotta, like you said, be in the bed with him, man. It's a done deal, I think, in the sense of, like, what are you going to do? Like, are you just going to, if it's that bad, are you just going to, like, trade him? I
don't know who would take him,
or try to get more room in the cap after that, because that's all you got is CeeDee Lamb and Dak. And look at CeeDee Lamb, his frustration. You can see it, like, that a couple weeks ago, and he looked at him, and Dak had his head down, and then CeeDee Lamb did it again last week. You know what I'm saying? So CeeDee Lamb has no confidence in Dak either. So it's I don't know, man.
Apparently Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs don't either, since on the podcast they said they didn't put him in the top 10.
Yeah,
put him in the top 20. I mean, what kind of garbage is that? Your own teammates don't even respect you, like, on social media.
I think Jerry Jones really messed it up for even the future and the draft picks. You can't say a dumpster fire. You can't. They're already dumped. So it's a mess, Sal and Jermaine and Mike.
Jermaine, Mike McCarthy done?
Yeah,
I mean,
flip a coin between Doug Peterson and Mike McCarthy. Flip that coin, Dre. You got a coin? You know what I mean? Who's going first?
I have a double-sided coin.
Right? Yeah. I mean, definitely, you definitely got to put Mike McCarthy up there, definitely in the hot seat. This is getting ridiculous, and I mean, after he's done, who's going to come in there? You're not getting a top tier. You're not, because as long as Jerry Jones, and we keep talking about it, repeating about it, as long as Jerry Jones got his hand in the cookie jar, nobody don't want to come there, because they're not going to have full say. So you're going to get your second and third tier head coach, like you always do ever since Bill Parcells. You know what I mean? That was your last top tier coach. Who are you going to get? Jerry just needs to just go somewhere, go to hospice or whatever. And
he said hospice, damn.
Mike, sorry we cut you off there, man. What were you going to say?
Man, I don't remember what I was saying. It was just the Cowboys are just a mess. I mean, I think that contract, I mean, it is what it is. We knew that, the next guy who gets paid was going to get paid, a lot of money. It's like he talking about Brock will probably get a lot of money. But yeah, they just didn't build that team. It just seems like they really just said, well, it's almost like they're building for next year. He said it was all in for this year. It almost seems like they were trying to get set for next year or the year after, because they had no running game. And in the day, they had no running game, even worse, because Ezekiel Elliott didn't even make the game for some reason.
He doesn't want to play center. I told you,
Jermaine.
What is going on with Ezekiel, Mike? I mean, my God, he didn't even make the trip down here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is going on?
He got suspended.
For what?
Well, It's a conduct, what is it?
Yeah.
Personal, unsportsmanlike conduct, personal conduct, something like that. So I don't know. He probably mouthed off, or somebody said he wasn't getting the ball enough, or who knows, maybe he was out partying or something. I mean, the team, the problem to me, the team with the Cowboys, more than Dak and the contract and Jerry, is just right now it seems like they don't really have any leadership, inside the locker room in particular. I mean, Michael Parsons going on that podcast and talking about, top quarterback and not even mentioning this quarterback. You shouldn't even talk about the conversation. You shouldn't be talking during the offseason about other players and other teams and crap, man.
Thank you.
Focus on football. Hurry up and get right on the team and freaking get on the field and make some plays and try to help your team. Instead, he's sitting there in the back. And he's supposed to be a captain, man. And that's how that team is. You know, all these guys are supposed to be captains and leaders. You know, it's like a whole team of mercenaries right now. And, you know, they're all just contract 1099 players that are just like, you know, I'm just here to get paid, you know, and that's the problem with the team. But yeah, it starts from the top with Jerry and how he's treating it like a business and stuff. And because he treats it like a business, well, then all the players like, well, I'll treat it like a business too. I'm here to get paid. I'm just about the money. I'm not about winning football games. I'm not about championships. And, you know, when the going gets tough, I'm just going to go chill. And that's what they got.
Smash them today.
We'll see.
Kirk Cousins.
They're going to put that. How Dre says it, the final nail in the coffin. I mean, throw that last layer of dirt, because that's it.
They need to. You know, it's like Jerry Jones see that. He needs to see his team get embarrassed. You know, so that people will say enough is enough. You know, but until that happens,
last nail in the coffin and pour cement over top of it.
Yeah. Speaking of nail in the coffin, two things this week. Two teams made significant changes. The first being the Colts. Anthony Richardson nail in the coffin. Guys, the Flak attack is back. You can't help it.
Look, I don't know. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Okay, you're not going anywhere. That's the bottom line. Why are you saying, you know, we have a chance to get into the? All right, so you get into the playoffs. What are you going to do? One and done. All right, so why don't you just build around this man, around this young man? The man has talent. Now all of a sudden you just you know, put him off to the side and we're done. I mean, come on, man. Just see what you have. You're not doing anything. You're not going to the Super Bowl. And Steichen, he's another one on the hot seat, I believe. You know what I mean? And then Irsay, he's another one that's up there with Jerry Jones. Don't know what the hell they're doing. It's just. That's another mess over there, you know. And now you're going back to old head Joe Flacco, and it's just you're not doing anything this year. Just stick with the young kid, you know what I mean? Rob, you know, put some talent around him, rebuild, and just move on. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think it was. I think they wouldn't did it if he didn't make his comments about, you know, tapping out and being tired. Because I think just the locker room, I think, saw that and just said, well, I'm tired. How come I can't come out the game, you know? He tapped his helmet, you know, like I want to get out, you know? So, yeah, I think that is why they had to pull him. And it's just amazing because the kid is young, man. He's 21. And then, like, you know, Jermaine, you didn't see all the text messages I was sending, but I was just, you know, telling, you know, the guys just like, look, you know, the kid in college really only started 1 year. I mean, he's thrown less than 400 passes in his whole entire college career. I mean, you got someone like Jayden Daniels who played 5 years of college. He has well over 1,600 passes. I mean, it's just so much more experience, so much more just reps. And these college kids that come in early don't have the reps, man. They really only got 1 year of solid you know, play. You know, if he started as a freshman or if he redshirted and played 2 years, you know, for a second and third year, it'd be a different story. But 1 good year, I mean, I hate to say it, my boys, Trey Lance had the same exact kind of story. You know, he had 1 good year in college and never really threw a whole bunch of balls. And they got the NFL and then they realized how much lacking he was. And it's like, well, why do you take guys like that so high in the draft? I mean, look, it's a position that requires you to throw the ball, you know, not to run around. It's about throwing the ball. So if the guy ain't throwing the ball a lot, you shouldn't be taking him number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 in the draft. You should take him much later in the draft because he's not been a quarterback enough, you know?
So, I think it's more of a status quo than anything because, like, in the college rankings, there's only a handful of good quarterbacks, right? But then you have 6 rounds in the draft and you know how many quarterbacks are supposed to be taken. To me, there's like just picking what they can get, you know, and then it's up to the team to actually put them up there, like you said, you know, a high draft pick, which is really not what they are, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anthony Richardson, I know you guys told me when I call him like a lottery winner, and it's kind of like, yeah, I hit the lottery, man. They took me 4th in the league. I got a guaranteed $34 million, deal because of where I got picked. I know it's kind of like I didn't expect to get picked this high. Most people probably be like he shouldn't have got picked that high. He's just not experienced enough. But the talking heads and all that kind of stuff. The Todd McShays is like, oh no, he's got all this talent and experience. Ty. It's like, all right, well. It's more to it than just athleticism, man. You got to be able to throw the balls. You got to be able to change your throw angles. You got to be able to throw men open. You got to be able to read defense. You got to be able to do a lot of other stuff that you just can't just walk in the building and just be like, yeah, I'm strong as hell. I'm going to throw the ball through a brick wall.
Yeah.
It's more to it.
Tell Tom Brady that.
Yeah.
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 The other change was it'd be interesting. This was kind of a forced change, but obviously Cleveland with the towel, he's done. So Jameis Winston comes in, he gives that team some life. They get Nick Chubb back. You might see Cleveland come back a little bit, guys, or are they just still not a very good team?
Jameis Winston is a Brett Favre part 2. I mean,
here we go.
Yeah, this is come on. You done set yourself back with Deshaun Watson. Now all of a sudden, you got to start all over. Jameis Winston is not the guy. He'll give you a couple good games, and you know what I mean. That fire, you know what I'm saying. Maybe throw 4 touchdowns, 400 yards, something like that. That's all he got. That's all he has. In the whole season, if he played the whole season, he probably got a good 6 games in him. That's it. But Cleveland, here we go. We're starting all over. You're starting all over, man. Everything on back. I don't know what you do. Do you eliminate this team? Eliminate
31.
Leave Cleveland and just move somewhere else.
Get the Mayflower. Get the Mayflower.
Yeah. Speaking of nail in the coffin, though, is Deshaun done? Like, is this it for the towel?
I think so.
Is this it?
Deshaun who?
Yeah.
I had to watch it. Yeah, I think it has to be. Yeah. I think Jameis will. It just goes back to the whole leadership thing. I mean, one thing Jameis can do is that he does inspire his teammates. Better than Watson. I think everyone kind of on that team looking at Watson every week they would lose, and the coach would come out and says, we're going to stick with Deshaun Watson as a starter. He gives us the best chance to win. And it's like people, that play for the team like BS. The wives are probably like BS. It's like their kids are like BS. He don't give us a chance to do crap. So Watson, Winston comes in and they beat the Ravens, and I know they're just kind of like, all right, we can play with this guy. So at least they try. Stefanski was 2-time head coach of the year. I think the guy probably can coach, man. And it's last year with Flacco, they made it to the playoffs. So there's something.
Winston's throwing bombs to like Tillman like it's nothing, man. Like, I mean, and the Ravens, man, guys, I'm not sold on that defense. They got some issues going on, So I mean, what happened between last year and this year with that Ravens defense? Yeah, KD is right. Panthers go first. That's pretty funny. But yeah, what is going on with this Ravens defense all of a sudden this year?
I have no idea. I mean,
it's a big question mark.
Mike Macdonald, I think is the key. And it's not that Zach Order's bad defensive coordinator. It's just Mike Macdonald, I think, had a way of just coordinating things, last year. And then he left to be the head coach of the Sea Chickens. And I think you're seeing some of that drop off from the coaching change. And they got injuries. Their secondary got banged up a little bit. That's where they're getting they get burnt the most in the secondary. I think those big plays.
And they got Flowers out today. And obviously we talked about the quarterback. He's hurt. So he's got, I don't know, he had rib or upper body injury. They're calling it Lamar Jackson. So I mean, with Flowers out, now you're going to rely on the tight end, So, and then you're going to have to rely, of course, on the running game as well.
Well, Derrick Henry.
Always do. Derrick Henry's the running game. And who's the tight end? Pitts? Is it Pitts?
No, Andrews. Mark Andrews.
No, Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Yeah, but don't forget though. They got Deontay Johnson.
Didn't they get the They're loading up on they're loading up on offense, but I mean, you should have went out there and see if you could saw the corner or something like that if they're getting burnt like that.
And where the hell is Odell?
Yeah,
Where's Odell
Yeah,
Beckham?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. I
Yeah,
forgot
he's
they even
out
had
there.
it.
Yeah,
Did they
he's
still
out
have
there.
him? Yeah, I guess
he
they got
don't
him.
want to
Yeah.
play.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Who was it that dropped the ball last week? Was it Aguilar? Nelson Aguilar that dropped the ball in the sun? There was one play, guy was wide open. They just hit him right
I think
in the
that
face
was
'cause the
Odell
sun got in
because
his eye.
Aguilar's been catching ever since the comment about can't catch with the building back when he's with the Eagles.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was hilarious. Unlike Aguilar.
Yeah.
Unlike Aguilar.
I want to be like I want to be like Nelson.
I caught him, man.
Yeah. Forget being like Mike. I want to be like Nelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, random thoughts from Hef. I need Kirk Cousins to coach the Cowboys today. Yeah. Well, I hope so because let me tell you, Kirk Cousins threw to everybody but London last week, and it killed me in my fantasy team. All right, and he threw to Pitts. He threw to everybody. Howard or whoever guy's name was. Who's the other guy? Howard or whatever. I forget his name. That freaking dude. He was all over the field, and London was just had like 2 catches. I was like, come on, man. The guy was like a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. He was supposed to be last week. He's number 7 this
Drake's
week.
gonna go the hell off today. You better
not yesterday. I mean, not last week.
Man.
It'll go off.
Man, I was so pissed about that.
Got the podcast on the big screen today. All right.
That's what I'm talking
there
about.
We go. All right.
Yeah.
Guys, I would be remiss before we get into the coughing games if we didn't talk about our boy up in New York. He was pissed at Adams. Because Adams dropped a couple balls and Aaron was giving it to him. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to throw to Wilson. And he did. And man, did Wilson catch a few. So the Jets, they back? What's happening?
No, bad defense by Houston.
Back for what?
No, I don't see no Jets run here. Houston's just didn't play well, honestly, and I'm worried about that too because the offensive line is giving Stroud trouble. That's why Jets were all in that Thursday night game, and the defense was just giving up too much in the air.
They need to a couple of things. Jets need to find that consistency still, and their defense doesn't have it yet. And then they got to decide who they're going to throw to. Like there was a time where literally, like when I texted you guys, I was so annoyed because like every pass was to Adams, and like Wilson is like wide open, and I'm like, come on! I'm like, forget that he's on my fantasy team, right? Like it just. The guy is open. He's catching the ball. Adams is not. They just don't seem like they're on the same. All right, I know it's been a while since they played a minute. Texans can't get it together ever since Collins has been out. Like, I mean, literally Stroud, I had a bench because he's just been awful now so, I mean, now they get him back next week. 49ers get back CMC after the bye, supposedly. So there are some players coming back, but Texans scare me a little bit. I agree with you guys. Like I didn't realize how much they missed Collins. Let's not forget Collins was the number 1 wide receiver in the league before he got hurt. He had the most yardage, most catches. So
you talk about Nico Collins. I said, what the heck is going on with Diggs over there? What's
he's out ACL.
I mean, he's about, I mean, you should be able to survive. You know what I mean with Nico Collins if you got Diggs and what Tank.
And
Tank Dell.
Diggs
gone.
Dalton Schultz. I mean, you should be able to survive. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Well, as Dre said, it's the offensive line. I mean, I heard a stat this week that Stroud is pressured on 47% of his dropbacks, which is like significantly higher than anybody else in the league. So like every other, time he goes to pass, someone's in his face, either hitting him or sacking him or doing something. I mean, I think unfortunately he might be getting the yips, that the pressure's coming too quickly. So then he's not doing none of his fundamentals, the footwork, the reading. He's just worried about getting hit. Yeah. You've seen that happen to a lot of young quarterbacks, and you're hoping that it doesn't kind of ruin them, but man, you get hit enough times, man, you'll start making mistakes.
Well, they blocked for Mixon, that's for sure. That guy's been tearing it up. Yeah, the offensive line is doing good there.
He's been lighting it up.
But Mixon is also a smart, patient running back, so he looks for them holes as much as he can, and then he does all the work by his athleticism. So,
yeah.
I was gonna say with the Jets real quick, KD does bring up a good point. I was gonna say it too, but the Jets, they might actually make it somewhere. I mean, I hate to say it. I'm saying the Texans might have handed them their season back because they got the Cardinals, which is not easy, but they could beat the Cardinals. Then they got the Colts, who, not easy, but they could beat the Colts. Then they get the Sea Chickens, who can't stop the run. Then they got the Jaguars, they got the Dolphins, who know what those two teams will look like by then. They got the Rams, who are still kind of young, and then they play the Bills and Dolphins to finish the season. So I hate to say it, and I don't want to see it, but yeah, the Jets could be somewhere sniffing a wild card after all this chaos and commotion, and still somehow be in the mix.
Well, we'll find out. But the Rams are interesting. You never count out McGenius, man. And now you got Cooper Kupp and Puka. That team could wake up a little bit. So
they got a running game. Kyren Williams is running back there, so he's been lighting it up. So yeah, I don't like McGenius, but he's doing an okay job this year. So.
Have says the flag attack is back. Colts are no slouch. I don't know.
Yeah. Remember
Flacco.
Joe those picks.
Go Joe Flacco.
That's all I'm gonna say. That guy turns the ball over. He can run the offense, but he turns the ball over, especially at the worst time. You'll see.
Well, last playoff he did.
Playoff?
Yeah. I called that dude was coming. Made money off it.
Flacco playoffs? Come on, we can't talk about Flacco in playoffs. Come on.
Right?
Yeah. And I think Hef is saying Stroud being inaccurate. I think a lot of that inaccuracy is the pressure. I just think it's just
man.
All the fundamentals out the windows when you get pressured.
And he's hesitating. I watched it. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
He's like he's not sure. He can't get the time. It's like Jermaine, like you said, man, that sophomore slump hit him hard.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
Yeah, Jermaine, you always say it. All you gotta do is get film on you, right?
That's
what happens. That's how you know.
Because the coordinators get paid the big money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hef's asking if Minnesota is a fraud.
No, 2 in a row. It's like,
they haven't been able to get Addison going. That's the problem.
Well, Addison wants out. Who told me that Addison went out?
I did.
Oh, you said it. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. This is his second year in the league, and he wants out.
Jeez.
Okay.
Wow. Justin Jefferson's getting the balls. Right? Yeah.
Did they lose to the Lions last?
Yeah, Lions are great.
Let me tell you. All right, real fast, man. I know we're getting off course, but Detroit Lions, man, they're lighting it up. They're lighting it up. 40 points again. Come on.
52.
Yeah, 47, 52. What is nobody's not really talking about them, but that's another story. But yeah,
to me, they got that division wrapped up. So Green Bay,
we'll
Chicago,
see today, right?
Minnesota.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But this is I think for first place in that division, Green Bay versus Detroit.
That's a big game. It's on our list to talk about.
But see, take a script. But real quick, Sal. Philadelphia needs to take a script from the Lions. With Jared Goff. Jared Goff is not throwing the ball. They're relying on their running game. Let's just go back. You know what I mean? And
Gibbs is nice.
Points. Yeah,
Gibbs is nice,
man. A game, man. Come on.
I like that kid Gibbs.
Yeah.
Minnesota, they also get their tight end back, right? Who's been out for a while. Hawkinson or whatever. Yeah, they get him back.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah. That's going to help Minnesota a lot.
Yeah.
So
Minnesota's, look, Sam the damn Darnold, as we called him, he has his limits. He's been playing well, but he has his limitations, and I think you start to see some of that now, especially when you get pressure on him. He's going to make mistakes. So as long as they can balance him out, I think Minnesota will still be a tough team to play against. They weren't expected to do a lot this year. I think they've done a lot better than what we all thought they would.
Yeah.
Well, he is seeing ghosts, and it's Halloween, so so there you go, man.
I don't know. Maybe he's a body snatcher. That's not Sam.
Asian of the body snatcher.
Yeah.
That's Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell and
trading places with Gino, and I trade places with
Gino. Yeah, man.
That's another question to be brought up. Is Russell back?
That's just one game.
I hope not.
Is Russell back?
Otherwise, Jermaine's going to give me crap for 2 draft picks for Russell Wilson.
Never live that down, Sal. Damn.
that's the thing you're talking about. What Pittsburgh, like I said last week, Pittsburgh is right there, and I think Ravens and Pittsburgh gonna be on top of that division, of course, as we can see it right now, because Bengals are done, Cleveland's done. But Jermaine, I don't know if he's back. I'll give him another game, man. Like I want to see a full game with him. You know, another full game. Sorry, they had one last week, but we'll see if Russell's back.
Yeah.
Couple.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say I think Russell Wilson's not back, but I think he's good enough where he's at to make that team win some games. I did see where Tomlin had to switch him out, Fields, and I could see why he did that. It's just, going back to again about the quarterback position, it's about passing the ball, not about running around scrambling. And Russell can throw the ball better than Fields. He's just more accurate. He can just better at it. Yeah. So I can see why he did that. But there are times where you do need the athleticism, and then you need Russ to be Russ and run the ball. And he just ain't that fast no more, man. I'm just sorry. I saw him and I was kind of like, dude, he's taking sacks and stuff still, but he's still that offense is definitely better than what it is last year. I mean, for sure.
We'll make Justin Fields the next Tyson, whatever his name is.
Taysom Hill, yeah.
Make him that one that they take the load off of Russell and whatnot, and then you still have Najee Harris and everything. So. We'll see. Yeah, like Dre said, we'll see.
KD throws in a couple of things. Lions have a soft schedule. Nobody's talking about it, and they might lose today. Vikings have a real challenge, and they lost to Tampa. Well, their only challenge, he says, they lost to Tampa Bay. Tampa's another team. We'll talk about them a little bit. But yeah, look, bottom line is they're winning the games they're supposed to win, and they're winning them big. And that's something the Eagles couldn't do last year, right? And that was ultimately their downfall. All the Eagles had to do was win one or two at the end of the year, the teams they should have beaten, and they couldn't do it.
Yep.
And so Tampa Bay was one of them. So
that's where the Lions, I'll never forget the disrespect they did to the Cowboys this year.
Yeah.
That is just, I cannot forget them putting out linemen to run routes. That is just,
I think they might have put Dallas in. I think they might just tank the whole season, man. You know what I mean? For them to get whooped on, what you said, Mike,
then you definitely fired Mike McCarthy. After that, you got linemen going down catching it. Mike McCarthy, what are you doing?
I've never seen anybody do that just ever. Of course, what's it called? I tried to do something stupid like that to Washington last week, and it fell right in their face. The Bears, where they try to run the linemen. And just like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Well, the Bears tried it with Refrigerator Perry. You remember that? He ran it into the end zone. So
they had a 40-point lead when they tried that. This was like to win the game, and they're like going to hand it off to a backup offensive lineman, like they're going to fool somebody. Dude just coughed the ball up. He never even had it. It's like
Yeah.
Oh man. By the way, another random thought, since we're talking about random thoughts and Hef and all that. Where's Britton Covey, dude? I miss Britton Covey. Where's your boy, man? I know, but it's been like ages, man.
Oh, he's done now. I think Cooper DeJean's gonna be taking those punt returns and those kickoff returns back.
Man.
You know what I mean? So he might have lost his job, man. Who knows?
Covey, man.
Covey got his bell
That's
rung,
boy,
so the bell's still ringing.
That was his shoulder, right? Was it his shoulder or was it a concussion?
Concussion, I think.
Concussion.
Oh, was it?
He got hit pretty bad, man.
It's been a while with him, man. So
it's been about 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah. And DeJean got clocked too. His own guy keep running into him.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get to these coffin games. First one, Dallas at Atlanta. Oh boy. Is Parsons? I think he's technically questionable, but I would be surprised if he played.
No, he's out. He's out.
Mike
is he definitely out? Okay,
he's out.
Yeah, Mike. Like you said, man, just real fast. He's sitting on the couch talking on his podcast. Man, get right. You're a captain. You're right, Mike. I mean, that's if I was a Cowboys fan, I'd be frustrated with him. Honestly, I'd be frustrated with him. So
he wants out.
He wants. Yeah, that's true. Because he's not getting paid. He's not getting paid. Paid Lamb and Dak Prescott. Yeah, he's not getting paid. He's going.
Howie. Anyway, no.
I don't want him. Yeah, I don't want him. Yeah.
All right. So Dre, I know you're probably gonna go with for this one. Who you got?
Atlanta, I'm done. Let's go.
All right.
Take away Michael Parsons' podcast equipment. Take it away. Take away his mic. Take away his headset. Right. Just take it away from him.
Next contract he signs, you can't do a podcast, man.
Yeah, put it in there. No podcast equipment.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I don't know. I think Atlanta's gonna go in really confident, man. Like you know, and there's nothing else to say, man. Cowboys.
Yeah, what else can you say? There's nothing else you can say. I mean, it's a big mess. Offense, defense, higher ups, the whole nine. It's a mess.
Does anybody have Dallas today?
No, I don't.
Okay, I don't either. Jermaine,
no.
Don't even say it, Jermaine. Yeah. All right.
Next. The other thing I say for Atlanta, this is the game that I like to see them like distance themselves from the rest of their division. Yeah. Like, this is a win that they can get. They can get a couple games up on Tampa. You know, the Carolina and the Saints are already falling apart. This is like, all right, we own this division kind of game, and you know, so they belong in the playoffs.
Yep.
All right, next one. Have been waiting for it. Washington at the Giants.
Oh, come on. What are we doing?
Coffin game, Jermaine. Coffin games. Come on. This is Mike, man. Mike came up with these coffin games, which I like. These are guys who have the nail in the coffin. Giants, they lose to Washington. Ooh.
Listen.
They can't score a touchdown. The Giants can't score a touchdown.
At home, right?
Yeah, as you're going around counterclockwise. Look, guys, they actually played pretty well against Pittsburgh last week. Was it Pittsburgh? Yeah, the defense. Was it Pittsburgh? I'm trying to remember. Who was the Giants?
Yeah,
it was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's Pittsburgh.
That was to me, that was actually a pretty good game that the Giants played. I mean, you have to. I'm not defensively. They did very well against them. Against Pittsburgh, it was a dead-on match. You know, what field goals keep going in the first half, second half. You know, but then of course, you know that the penalties killed them. They have horrible offensive penalties, and they keep shooting themselves in the foot every time they're in the red zone. So, you know, Neighbors, that's the guy, man. If Washington can't stop him, maybe Danny Dimes can do something. I don't know, but I am picking Washington for this game. But as a nail in the coffin game, if Giants lose this, they're done. But I do see some glimpses of competition that they can be very good maybe next season.
A little light. Mike, anybody?
Yeah, I think the Giants will fight. You remember the last time they played, it was a bunch of field goals. I swear there was like 20 field goals in that game.
Yeah.
But Boston's got a balance now, you know, and that's what the Giants don't have as a balance. You know, they have big defensive plays and then follow it with a bad defensive play or a penalty. You know, they'll make a big catch or a big run and then they'll follow it with a holding penalty. You know, it's so many little things that they keep doing to set themselves back. And, you know, I think it still kind of goes back to Danny Dimes, you know, that he's just not good enough to really lead that team. And so I think today they're going to lose. I think it is the nail in the coffin. I'm just not sure who's it going to bury. Is it going to bury the quarterback? Is it going to bury the coach? It's going to bury the GM, like the whole show? I don't know. But, yeah, they're going to lose.
Watch this. Jermaine, you want to dabble in this one a little bit? He's going to go on. What's going to happen in this game?
No, I'll pass.
He said I pass.
He said I pass.
Nail's already in the coffin. Why even get off the? Where is this playing at? Giants or Washington?
It's in New York, I believe.
It's in New York. Yeah, don't even get out of bed. You shouldn't even be out of bed.
Hef says this ain't the year we split with the Giants. Daniels is officially off the injury report. He's not even like questionable or anything. So supposedly he lucked out with these ribs. We'll see. But Daniels is ready to go today. Oh wow, he's even saying the Commanders will split with Philly. Ooh, for champ. Ooh, we'll see.
I'll take that.
Maybe.
That. Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, I'll take
we'll
that.
See.
Yeah.
All right.
I believe that, Hef. I believe.
I don't know. We'll see.
Everybody's got it.
I won't be surprised if Washington swept us.
No. I don't think so. They'll split.
All right, next coffin game, Miami at Buffalo. Guys, don't look now, but all of a sudden Buffalo's got an offense and they're going to town. Ooh, that's going to be tough for Miami to stop that. And All right, yeah. Look, we know the concussion situation with quarterback. I don't know, Dre, on this one. I don't think Miami's defense has enough to stop Buffalo's offense. What do you think, Dre?
Well, Tua.
Yeah.
No, I think Buffalo's going to win this game. It's a divisional game. Miami, man, I think that they're too far gone. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I think Buffalo will win it. I think Miami, just lost too many games. And even with Tua back, there's still some inconsistencies, with the offense, especially with the defense. It's weird with Tua. Like last week, he scrambled and he slid, and the whole entire stadium erupted in cheers. And it's like, if you got to cheer for your quarterback because he slides, man, that's what are we talking about? You're like holding your breath. Don't do it. Don't get yourself killed. It's like, man, no, man, that's just not how you're gonna run a team. If you got to hold your breath every time your quarterback just takes the field, you can't live like that.
Mm-hmm. Jermaine, your boy Tyreek Hill, once Tua is back, he can light it up. Is it going to be enough today against Buffalo?
Yeah, I'm going against all of y'all.
I
think Miami's going to win today. I think they are. So
wow.
Win what?
I'm giving, huh?
What are they going to win?
What?
They're not going to win the game. They might win something else.
Yeah, I think they're going to win this. Yeah, I think they're going to win this game today. I think they are. Yup.
I got to go with Buffalo. I think Josh Allen right now is in the zone. I think he's just he's got 3 really solid receivers. Cook has been a beast at running back. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, hang in, guys. If you're chatting, we just got a little message that the chat, something's up with that. So we'll get to you guys as soon as we can. So hang in there with the chat issues. We're working on it. All right, cool. Next one, guys. Another coffin game. Jacksonville at the Eagles. It could be the end of the line for Dougie P. Like we said, if it's over today. Dre, which Eagles team is going to show up today?
The one last week.
Okay. All right.
No, I think that this should not be a no-brainer, honestly. I want to see a better, I think Mike was saying, and I was saying the secondary has got to be a little bit better. For the Philadelphia Eagles, keep doing the pass rush. I want to see more of those Georgia Bulldogs attack. Trevor. I mean, there's no excuse, man. Trevor should be giving up 4 interceptions, 2 fumbles today. Yeah, sorry, Doug. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Doug. It ain't happening today. So Eagles all the way, man. Mike?
Yeah, Eagles should beat them pretty good. And I think Doug is on his way out. He just hasn't improved. They had that 1 year that looked pretty decent. Like maybe he could turn Jacksonville around, but then it's kind of gone stagnant. I think ever since they lost that playoff game to the Chargers that year, and then after that it was just or maybe it was the other way around. But no, Jacksonville won that one. But after that, they turned around and haven't been the same since. They had the 8-game slide last year when they lost to San Francisco, and then they kind of fell apart. And it hasn't been right since. Yeah, they're done. Yeah.
Jermaine, they still haven't scored any points in the first quarter. The Eagles.
Say this is going to be the game that they're probably going to.
Yeah, very good point. I mentioned
that. 10 to 14 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Right. When they're going to just say, that's warming the bus up, and then that's just
Jacksonville's defense is terrible.
But my thing,
it's bad.
Yeah, my thing is, as long as they keep doing what they're doing, the last 2 games, it's got the offense has got to revolve around Saquon. It's got to stop putting it on Jalen. Jalen probably get a couple touchdowns to AJ Brown. So, but yeah, it should be a no-brainer today. It should not be a no-brainer. So,
yeah, if you look at statistically right now, defense, we're 4th against them. They're 29th. Rushing, we're 5th. They're 15th. But the offense, though, is kind of matched up. 13th is offense is the Jaguars. We're 17th. So,
yeah, Hef, you brought up a good. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm frustrated about. You brought up a good point. Jalen Hurts. Let's Saquon score. I mean, McCut. I am so sick and tired of seeing this tush push. Somebody's gonna get hurt, and then in the next week or the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be talking about, they did this too. You got a man that's squatting over 700 freaking pounds, man. Let the man score. Stop doing that tush push. I mean, it's pissing me off, honestly, because you're doing.
I'm gonna piss you off
I got Saquon on my fantasy team. You know I'm not happy about it. They keep giving Hurts.
Come on, man. You know what I mean? Jeez, give him some love, man. Damn. You know, he's running up and down the field in between the 20s, and then you can't give him the ball and the goal. Stop. Just stop.
Yeah. And let him spike the ball.
Well, guys, what's going to happen if I pick the Eagles? So
no, pick them. God damn it!
really, Sal. I mean, come on,
pick them.
That's just ridiculous.
Come on, man. This is not no time to do this.
Cincinnati, because yes, I picked Cincinnati along with you.
I did too, but you know not the Jaguars.
Come on.
Every time I pick them, they lose. Every time I don't pick them, they win. So it's this week. I'm picking the Eagles, guys, which means they probably will lose, but. Will it save Doug P's job? I don't know, but Eagles should win today. Let's see if they come back with another complete game. We'll see what happens. Let's see what the defense does. Yeah. So, but yeah, I agree with the tush push, man. Like, the guys are on the bottom of the pile, like, I can't breathe. I mean, Jesus. I mean, there's like 5 or 6.
Smith don't want to have nothing to do with that. He's like, no, dog, I'm good. You know,
no wonder why Kelsey.
I was about to say that. No wonder Kelsey said, I'm done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then in the next couple of years, he's gonna need hip replacement, or they had to remove some of his hip. You know what I'm saying? So,
he gonna be falling down the stairs. He probably already
Well, I mean, you think there's 4 or 5 guys on top of you that 300 pounds each. You got 1,000 pounds on top of you.
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
You don't get it. I mean,
and this also blows up Jalen Hurts' stats, because somebody when NFL somebody come out, look all the rushing yard has, because it adds up with all those
right. Yeah.
And Jalen's not the most durable. He's not. I mean, the last couple of years he's been hurt. He's been ailing with stuff. He's not the most durable guy. I'm sorry. And then, like you said, 1,000 pound. Look, I can tell you some stories, and this is just high school. You know what I mean? Yeah, you in that pile, you're smelling stuff. You know what I mean? People that went on. It's not pretty, man. And then on top of that, you can't breathe. You know what I mean? You can't breathe. Like, get up. They're just laying on you, and and that's
you're smelling stuff.
That's just high school. I can imagine what's going on. People got gas. You know what I mean? It's just the whole time, man. It's not. It's serious.
Enough said. Okay. Enough said.
It's serious in there.
Man.
That was like the guy.
It's going up your nostrils. All that stuff, man.
That's like the guy from the Packers who said the guy threw up on the ball.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like
you see the ball right there. You just
good question from Hef. Is Dallas Goedert? Jermaine, you talked about guys who are soft, man, like with Hurts. Goddard, every freaking year this guy is out. What is going on with Dallas Goedert?
Did they just sign him, or is this his contract year?
I think they just signed him.
They just signed him. Wow.
I guess he works out with Debo.
Yeah, I mean,
he has a bad hamstring, right?
Yeah, every year it's something with this guy.
Every year, man. Every year.
He has a bad hamstring.
Yeah, just
Did someone say gas? Yes, F.
Every time I see the tush push now, I'm gonna be.
Yeah, it's just like, you look at it's like, oh my God,
yeah.
That's what you get.
I'm sure they probably all will say that too.
Exactly.
That play will probably tell you it's like, it sucks.
The defense can't stop it. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna lay here and just blow gas. That's
guys.
Or I gotta go to the bathroom. I can pee on myself.
They do. They
guys passing out on the field.
They let it go. They let it go. They really do. Palmer was on maybe on that HBO special, whatever, and he said he hiked the ball on the center. He said he smelled his hand. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. I'm serious, man. It's another level. I played high school, so it's another level in the NFL. I guarantee you, these players got some stories. You're like, yo.
I'm sure.
Man.
I'm sure that Tush Push probably got a lot. Like you said, there's probably a lot of stories there.
Well, we have two sponsors today, Xlax and Comcast. So we thank both of them today. Oh man,
Jesus.
Call them again, Jerry. Jesus.
Let's get to the game of the week. This is our last prediction, real quick. Our game of the week. This is not a coffin game. Detroit at Green Bay, guys. This is the game of the week. This is an interesting one, Dre.
If Love can stay healthy,
he's playing.
I've been saying that all week with another guy. I've been texting. That was because he's a Green Bay Packer fan, and I was like, "Look, man, if he can stay healthy, I Love gets injured too much, and right now he is, and Green Bay Packers, man, I want them to win, honestly. Man,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I don't know. Come back to me and I'll tell you who wins.
It's in Green Bay. I know that. So Mike,
I know it's in Green Bay, but go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. I was reading somewhere. I think that this is the first game that Detroit's played outside this year. It's a kind of interesting thing, but I think I'm going to go with Detroit. They just seem like they're still clicking. I mean, their defense is still not good, but man, it's just so much offensive firepower, and I think it's going to be too much for the Packers.
All right, Jermaine.
Yeah, same here. I'm going with Detroit.
I want to go with Detroit. I agree with you, Jermaine and Mike. I do, but this is a divisional game. That's why I'm like kind of hesitant.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
I mean, 6-1 versus 6-2. I mean, this is going to be a divisional playoff game.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Detroit. I think Detroit will pull it out.
But this is kind of we talked about with our predictions and stuff, when we were like flip flopping about who was going to win that division because they both look good. That's I think where we're so torn because they both are really good teams.
This one. Guys, I'm going to go Green Bay, I think, on this one. I think if Love can come out and actually do what he does and get Jaden Reed involved, is it Jordan or Jaden Reed? It's Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah. If they can get him involved, I think he's dangerous. The problem is he hasn't been involved, but they got other good receiving options. Question is, again, can the Packers defense slow down the Lions offense? And I don't know that they can. They're good, but I don't know that they're that good. But I'll give Green Bay just because they're home. I agree. I think playing outside could very well be a factor. It is a big factor. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to go with Green Bay, Trey.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dre still didn't pick. Did you choose?
Detroit.
You did go Detroit? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he said
that's why they the Packers, man. You've been on the Packers since.
I thought he said he'll let you know after the game.
Yeah.
After the game, yeah. I'll let you know after the game. Yeah. Green Bay won.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Well, we don't have time. We were going to talk a little bit about the trade deadline, but we'll pick up on that next week. So don't forget, obviously, the Eagles are the late game. They're 4:00. Washington's at 1:00. By the way, guys, really quickly before we go, I just want to wish Sierra much luck. She got engaged the past week, so we've had Sierra on the show a couple times. So her Bengals are on the fritz, but she's not, which is good. She's happy. So best of luck to Sierra and happy marriage there. And so hopefully, maybe when things calm down, we can get her back on a little bit and talk some Bengals. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the games today. We know what's going to happen. Again, like to shout out to our sponsors, Xlax and Comcast. Jermaine, get that goddamn router fixed because every week it's getting old. Man, I don't know what's going on down there in Atlanta, but get that router fixed.
Disclaimer, guys, we're playing around. Ain't no Comcast and ain't no X.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Especially Comcast. Anybody out there, Comcast? I'm sorry, y'all suck.
All right. Hey, if you like our, yeah, right.
They're gonna shut down his whole house.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, I'll show him. And it's like, no said podcast, and be like,
they ain't gonna be like talking about, I got rabbit ears on my TV.
Yeah. Oh man. If you like our show, tell us what you think. We are on all the major social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, X, or YouTube. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody. We got 3 new subscribers just in the past week alone. We're up to 60 now. You can also email us at enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com as always. And we appreciate everybody who's watching us. Shout out to the All Dressed Up podcast as well. Always joins us today. They are off this week. Check them out at 9:00 next week. They had a great show last week. And, we talked a little fancy over the chat this week, which is always a good thing. So shout out to Fancy and the All Dressed Up podcast and those guys. So they do a great job. And Have Streams. If you haven't seen Have Streams and the Climbback series, that's on as well. So with that being said, guys, enjoy the games today. Have a great week.
All right, go Eagles.
All right, here we go.
Peace.